The light hotspot migration has been in the spotlight recently, but gaming of the Helium network is still a major concern. Recently in the Discord, a community member highlighted a strange and remote cluster of hotspots in a very small town in Canada called Arviat. This town is about 800 miles away from Winnipeg, Canada, which is the next closest city with Helium hotspots. This town is extremely small and remote and seems to have 45 hotspots perfectly spaced out all around it, all of which belong to 4 wallets, are all sense caps, and were just turned on about a week ago. At first glance and from a distance, this seems to me like a classic gaming cluster, but a closer look makes the chances of this being a legit setup a little bit higher. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video here in the Crypto Compound channel. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you guys are having a great day. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in. In today's video, we are going to be discussing a very strange cluster that one of the community members highlighted here in the general tab of the Discord. As we can see, it is in, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Arviat, Canada, an extremely remote town all the way in northern Canada. It is about 800 miles away from Winnipeg, which is the next closest big city with Helium hotspots. We are going to go into all of the details with regards to these wallets, these hotspots, the earnings that these miners are earning, and what the chances are that this is actually a gaming operation. All of that we'll touch on, but first I do want to mention that Minted is dropping and shipping immediately new in-stock minted Helium miners. These are gold spot and black spot miners shipping immediately. There will be a 10% discount code applied. If you use the link down below, I would really appreciate it. It would really would help support the channel, and you guys get 10% off of the miner. So go check that out if you are interested. Now guys, if we look here, Tall Green Fern the other day posted this in the Discord, and I happened to see it, and he writes, something funky is going on in Arviat, Canada. Saw this spot light up like a Christmas tree a few days ago. All hotspots 45 in town belong to 4 wallets, probably the same person, and are all sense caps. Location setup is near impossible in my opinion, very barren. We will touch on that in today's video. The town itself fits in 2 to 3 hexes. Everything else is empty land out there, and as you can see, he includes a snapshot of what it looked like back when he was looking at it. Now, of course, if we look here, we can see that they are all populated now. As you can see, there was one empty X here, which happens to be right on the town. It is now filled here. That I think is this one right here. And we can see Bumpy Purple Meerkat is now populated. So guys, the first thing I did when looking at this cluster of hotspots was go to Google Maps and see what this town really looked like. Now, if we zoom in and from a distance, we can see obviously this town is very small. These are the only roads here, and there is an airport right here. No other roads. This is the only road which only goes up this way north. No other roads coming from the south, and all of this elsewhere appears to be extremely barren. As we can see, this is sort of looks like swampland or some sort of barren Arctic type topography. And of course, this here is the ocean. Now, if we look at where these hotspots are placed, they are actually placed in these very barren areas, which look, a lot of which are populated just with, they look like swamps or small lakes. So it's very confusing to me how they could set these hotspots up so perfectly in such a barren area. Now just as an example, let's zoom in here over at the very edge of this cluster, and as we can see, this is water. This is just a small, which looks like sand dune or something in the water. I would find it very strange that somebody would go out of their way to set up hotspots all around this little small barren peninsula. It makes no sense. This is the extent of the city here. As we can see, obviously there are some sort of structures and homes or something going on here. This is probably an area that is done for a lot of Arctic research and stuff like that. And of course, guys, if we do zoom in, what is even more interesting is if we zoom in, we can see that it most certainly is probably some sort of research dedicated town based on a few of these pictures that we can see here from Google. But the interesting thing is these antennas up here. This picture really makes me wonder if it's possible that somebody in this town is actually some sort of helium enthusiast and really decided to go off grid and set up all these miners around. And as I mentioned in the intro, and as the person in the Discord mentioned, these were all set up about 2 weeks ago. They are all sense cap and they belong to about 4 wallets here on the network. Now, I think it is interesting that they all belong to 4 Helium wallets. I really don't think that there are 4 different people that are operating this, if this is legit or if it's fake. I think whoever is behind this, whether it's a legit setup or these are gamers, I think that this is definitely all, I do think that this definitely all belongs to one person. They are all set up just about the same time. And as we can see, this is just one of the wallets that they're in. Of course, they're not here gaming tons of HNT. They're doing about the average, if not a little bit better, but any sort of gaming of the network should not be tolerated one bit if this is gaming. So I wanted to highlight this, but it is really, really interesting to see what is going on. Now, if we zoom in on this one hotspot specifically, we can see, of course, this is like right on the airport, it seems here, which I find very, very unlikely. But if we look, we can see that they're doing a decent amount, 0.2 in the previous 24 hours for this one hotspot. They did about a little bit over 1 HNT over about the last week since these came on around May 14th. And as you can see, they have been performing significantly better than the network average more recently, only experiencing 1 or 2 days of very low earnings when most other miners were flatlined. So guys, this is really interesting. I'm not so technical, so I don't know how to definitively know if these people are gaming, and also I can't go here and see if these miners are set up, but I wanted to highlight this as it is super, super interesting, and it is super important that we have no gamers here on the network. Now, the last thing I will note that is a little bit interesting, and another reason why I think this is all coming from the same person, is that the height that is instructed on all of these miners is 5 meters. If we look throughout any of these hexes at these miners, all of them are at 5 meters. They're all sense cap. They're all 2.6 dBi without upgraded antennas, and they are all at 5 meters, which is very, very interesting and makes me think it certainly is the same person. And of course, guys, here is the whole town. The whole town fits into about 2 or maybe 3 hexes, and as we can see, a lot of these hexes are in extremely, extremely rural areas here. And if we look at the only other picture we can find, it's obviously very barren, very, very barren. But as I mentioned, there are a lot of what seems to be research-oriented devices and satellites and stuff like that, which makes me think it's possible that there is some sort of helium enthusiast out there. But let me know what you guys think. I wanted to highlight this. Thank you to whoever this is in the Discord here, Tall Green Fern, for highlighting this. There's a good chance that these are gamers, and if it is, I'm sure the Helium team will pick it up. I am going to do my best to do a little more research and then perhaps report some of these wallets to the Helium development team so they can investigate themselves. But guys, let me know what you think. Of course, we want to get all the gaming off of the network. If you guys see anything else like this, leave them in the comments below. I will take a look and try to highlight them and shed some light on these gamers if they are in fact gaming. Thank you guys so much for being here. That is all I have for today's video. Please hit that like and subscribe if you have not already, and have a great rest of your day. But just like that, this video is over, and I will see you next time.